Hey guys, welcome back to another Ncurses tutorial. Today's Ncurses tutorial is going to be part number 2 in my status bar series. If you haven't seen the previous tutorial, I recommend going to check that one out first. There'll be a little card up above to that, up there. Essentially in the last tutorial we just went over, okay, what is the status bar, or like what kind of status bar I'm going to be creating at least. We gave some examples, and then we just went ahead and created a very basic status bar that has one bit of text and you can add attributes to it. So in this tutorial, we're going to be expanding on that. We're going to make it so you can add multiple parts to the status bar instead of just having one. So we're just going to be going a little bit the next step further. If you guys like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this just as they come out, consider subscribing and turning on all notifications. If you have any questions, comments, leave those down below. And if you want to support the channel a little bit extra, I've got a PayPal donate button down below. Every little bit helps. I've also got a Instagram now. If you guys want to check that out and follow me there, that'll be at casual.coder, and that's on Instagram. And I'll put a little link in the description to that. Without further ado, let's just get started. So in the last tutorial, I actually uploaded the code to GitHub. I'll put a link down below to that code if you want to pick that up as the starter code for this tutorial, basically. And at the end of this tutorial, I'll also upload this code to another GitHub repository that'll again be down below in the description, so you guys can follow along, or you could pick up the code at the end if you'd rather, or just in case you're having a bug or something. All right, so essentially in the last tutorial, we created very basic status bar that just prints out one part. You can add text and attributes to it. Very simple, but looking back at our example, Vim, you can see there's multiple parts. They have this part, then another part, then another part, and they each have their own attributes. So that's kind of what we're going to be trying to achieve today with ours. So first, before I start coding, I kind of like to come up with, okay, how do I expect this to work? Like, how would I want this to work in an ideal world from the in the main.cpp file? How do I want to call the classes such that I can add multiple parts? So one thing I'd like, is probably a good idea is when you construct the status bar, you want to tell it how many parts there are going to be. So we'll probably pass in, this at this point, this is like pseudocode because the library isn't set up. You'll see it gives an error. It says it doesn't accept a character constructor or character parameter in the constructor. But so we want to be able to tell it how many parts they're going to be. They're going to be 3 parts, for example. Then when we call setText, we kind of have to tell it what part we're editing, because we can't just have it edit all of them at the same time, or it doesn't know what one we're trying to edit. So instead of just having the text and the attribute, we can pass the first parameter as the part we're trying to edit. So we'll have it be 0 index. So the first part would be part 0. Then, we'll do that 3 times because there'll be 3 parts. So 1, 2, 3, or, 0, 1, 2, which is because it's 0 indexed. And then the draw function should do the same thing. It should just draw all 3 parts, or however many parts are within that status bar. So that's kind of how we want it to work. Now, how are we actually going to achieve that? Well, right now our status bar has a single variable for text and a single variable for attributes. But we kind of want each part to have their own text and their own attributes. So with that in mind, I think the best thing to do would be to create a separate class called StatusBarPart, which holds its own text and its own attributes. So what we'll do is we'll go into our source folder and we'll create a new file called StatusBarPart.hpp. And I'm going to go ahead and add some boilerplate here, and through the magic of editing, we'll skip to the end of when that's done. So, all right, so I've gone ahead and just created some basic code here, starter code for StatusBarPart. So we put this include guard, so we can only include the file once. Then we include Ncurses and string, because we're going to be using both of those. And then we just create a basic class with an empty constructor. All right, so essentially our StatusBarPart is going to just copy the functionality we had before from StatusBar. So it's going to grab it's going to have a text and an attributes member variable. So we'll just throw those in here, and then it's also going to retain the same getText and setText method. It's going to work the same exact way. So we'll just take those and throw those in here. And then same with the getAttributes and setAttributes. We can just copy and paste those directly into our StatusBarPart because they're going to work in the exact same way. within our constructor, we want to set some defaults for the values. So we'll set text equal to just an empty string. And then we'll set attributes equal to 0 by default. You could set it to anormal maybe, but yeah, come up with whatever default you prefer. I'm just going to use 0 in our case. Then because we removed the text variable, we don't need to set it in our constructor for StatusBar anymore. I'm actually going to close this sidebar because we don't need it anymore. It just gives us a little bit more room. So yeah, we can remove text from the constructor of StatusBar because we're no longer setting it there. But what we do need in StatusBar now is a way to hold our StatusBar parts. So the way I'm going to hold StatusBar parts is using the vector class. I think it's a handy collection data type, or collection data type, I guess they're called. So we're going to create a new member variable, standard vector status bar part, like that, and we'll underscore parts. Oh, that's right. I need to include StatusBarPart.hpp so that we have a reference to it. So that should work now. Cool. So then, given our example here, we want to be able to, we should pass it the number of parts that our status bar is going to have. So we'll throw that in as the first parameter here. So int num parts, we can call it. Then we can set parts equal to std vector status bar part, and then we'll pass it that num parts. Now what this will do, if you're not familiar with the std vector, the constructor for standard vector just creates however many of, so that whatever number this is, for instance, on our example, it's 3, it's just going to create 3 default constructor status bar parts. So this will just create some status bar parts that we can manipulate later on. Then, given our example, we need to have our status bar have a set text method, which takes an integer, which is the part number, the message, and the attribute that we're setting. So going back to here, we're going to create that method. So void set text, and it's going to take an int part num for the first parameter. Then it's going to take standard string message. So we'll do MSG for short, and then adder t attributes, which we'll set equal to -1 by default. So yeah, going back over to StatusBar part, before we were setting attributes equal to 0 by default. I think -1 is a better default because they could be passing in 0 as an attribute, which I think just basically clears out the attributes. So -1 is a better check because that means they probably definitely did not send in or supply an attribute to the method. So within our set text method, we just want to grab the part number that they passed in. So parts part num, like that. And then we're going to set the text on it. So we'll do set text equal to message and attributes. So simple enough, right? The next thing we have to update is the draw method, because right now the draw method is assuming that the status bar has its own get text method, and it does not. It also is assuming that status bar has its own attributes, and again, it doesn't. So the way we're going to go about doing this is we have to loop through each part in our parts vector here and print them out individually. So we'll create a for loop. We'll create a variable I to hold the index. We're going to loop while I is less than parts.size, and we'll increment I every loop. So we'll take this code and throw it in the middle here. So before our for loop do, what we'll want to do is we'll want to reset the cursor to the beginning. Basically, we want to reset the cursor to the bottom left corner. So what we'll do is we'll throw a move function. Well, actually a w move function right before the for loop. So we want to move within our parent, and we want to move to output row and 0. So that'll, before we start looping through, we'll set it to the bottom right corner. Oops. And because we're moving at the beginning, we're actually going to get rid of the move print w, and we're just going to make it w print w. Get rid of these 2 parameters. So now what we want to do is, instead of I guess the first thing we want to do is at the beginning of the for loop, we want to get our status bar part. So status bar part is equal to parts I. So we're going to grab whatever index or whatever part we are in the for loop and put it into the part variable. Then for add or on, instead of calling underscore attributes, we're going to call parts.get attributes. And then we're going to do the same thing after, but add or off. So we'll do add or off there. And then what we're going to do is print w within our parent, and we're going to do part.getText like that. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to reset to the bottom left corner. Then it's going to grab, for each iteration of the loop, it's going to grab whatever part number we're on. It's going to set the attributes for that part, and then it's going to print out the part, which will advance the cursor past the end of whatever the text is. Then once we move on to the next index, it'll continue where it left off. So say the first part was like that, then the next part it'll start printing here and move over like that, and then the next part it'll start here and keep going. So that's how the for loop is going to work. And I believe this should just now work as is. So let's make and run, and you'll see it prints normal, normal, normal. So now let's mix up that text and the attributes so that we can kind of see how it would look like if we did it a little differently. So we'll set color pair 2. In this case, we'll do, I don't know, we could do white on black. So just a basic color scheme, white on black. And then for color pair 3, we'll do red, or we'll do white text on a red background here. So that's a little different, right? So for this one, we'll do 2 and 3 for the next, for basically this first one will be the first color pair, and then so on, different color pairs for each one. Then kind of if we want to just mimic Vim, we'll have the main.cpp, just to give you an example. So if we want to mimic Vim, we'll throw just main.cpp in there just for fun. And we'll just throw in cool text for the last one. All right, so now again, let's make and run this. And awesome, we see as we expect. So we get the blue color pair, then we get the white on black color pair, and then we get the red, the white on red color pair. Awesome. So I hope you guys liked that tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be kind of figuring out how to set the width of the different parts. So maybe we want one of the pieces, maybe we want one of the parts to fill the available space. Maybe we want each part to fill a certain number or a certain amount of the space. Maybe we want an individual part to only fit its content. So that's what we're going to look at in the next tutorial. We're also going to look at like adding padding to the parts, like having a default padding of 1 on each end, stuff like that. So if you guys like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing, turning on all videos, or sorry, on all notifications. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave those down below. If you want to support the channel a little bit extra, I've got a PayPal donate button down below. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.